And now our very special guest, Mr. Bob McGwire.
I think oh yeah. Do you have my slides?
I do not.
Okay. I forgot to bring them. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, so I want to talk through some stuff first. So,
Sure.
um, in 2013, uh, Dr. Charles Clancy and I, who had worked together for years and founded the Hume Center, had some ideas about using small spacecraft to help the intelligence community because the large spacecraft, they are almost always using 10-year-old technology. They cost billions of dollars, and only big companies like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman and Boeing ever get to work on those things. There used to be TRW, but that was bought by Northrop Grumman. So I had worked on small sats and I had built them and launched them since 19 in late 1970s. And in 1990, I built, designed, and helped design and build four microsatellites. And with the University of Surrey's Dr. Martin Sweeting, Sir Dr. Martin Sweeting, he made two and we made four, and we went up on the European Space Agency's Spot 2 launch, which was on an Ariane rocket. The thing we did is we engineered the platform on which small spacecraft could ride. And that was the first time secondary payloads had a dedicated interface to ride on top of a rocket. Now, almost everyone realizes that small spacecraft includes things like Starlink and CubeSat. And so we gave birth to the entire industry from our perch of hobbyist trying to build amateur radio satellites. So as a hobbyist, I learned aerospace engineering, but I also had a PhD in applied mathematics, so it was easy to learn the science and engineering behind building spacecraft. So that's how it went. I established myself at NSA and CIA and uh, feel, figured out that we needed more rapid coverage of the whole surface of the Earth than we were getting with these extremely large, expensive spacecraft. Billions of dollars of an extremely exquisite instrument needs real help in knowing where to focus its interest. So I decided to help, and was sitting in a room in Escondido, California, at Millennium Space, right next to Los Angeles Air Force Base, where SDA is, and I had a download. The download is the defining feature of my entire life. I had downloads since I was a child. So the Grey's Anatomy, the all the things I did when I was at 10 years old, learning how to read at age 3 with no one having taught me, that is the defining feature of my life. I know many things for which I have never been taught. So my mother realized that I was a bit neurodivergent, so she really wanted to help me socialize. And so now looking back, hindsight is 2020. And as a neurodivergent person, I'm one of those who was taught regularly throughout my early life on the hill. So telepathy tapes is somewhat about me, even though I didn't realize it till I was in my late 60s and heard the telepathy tapes for the first time. Um, so the spacecraft company, we couldn't get anybody in government interested. So Charles Clancy and I uh, uh, joined forces with a person who worked for the National Reconnaissance Office that builds all the nation's spy satellites. We knew that the nation needed to do something different. So we went and found venture capital and we started designing these small spacecraft to do geospatial intelligence. In particular, geolocation of radio transmitters on the ground from orbit. And no one thought small satellites could do it. And so we had a hard time convincing anyone. So eventually we found a venture capitalist that would take a risk with us. So we designed the spacecraft and put them on a SpaceX launcher with the help of In-Q-Tel and the intelligence community to just test the concept. And so we had to spend our venture capital money for the launch with SpaceX, but we got 3 spacecraft up and they operated together. We demonstrated that a triangle of 3 spacecraft flying together over the Earth had extremely high resolution synthetic aperture imagery showing where radio transmitters were on the ground. And because the beam was so focused, the thing had enough sensitivity to be heard by a spacecraft that had little stubs as antennas. So we found that we were effective as a spacecraft with an antenna the size of a football field, with 3 small spacecraft working together cooperatively with little rubber ducks on them. So this is a big deal. So then we got a lot of interest from the intelligence community because they kind of realized, hey, these guys really have something. So the National Reconnaissance Office gave us a contract for $100 million. Shortly after that, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency became our largest customer with a $500 million a year contract, and that started 2.5 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago. So we became profitable before we left venture capital startup status. That's not usual. Usually you burn through several down rounds while they loan you more money in order to steal more of your company. So that didn't happen, thank goodness. So 2.5 months ago, we reached the place where we thought it was time. So we did an initial public offering on the New York Stock Exchange, and it was very successful. So our goofy idea of taking small spacecraft and showing everybody how wrong they are is now a $3.5 billion company. And it's just kind of awe-inspiring. I got a download, didn't know what to do with it except followed my heart and my head. And so I continue to follow downloads today. I'm working on 2 things right now, which I think will shock people. The download I'm working on right now is proving that gravity is not a force. Gravity is not from a particle like the other forces because it's not a force. There is no particle. Gravity is what you call emergent from quantum field theory. So what does this mean? We know quantum mechanics is a big deal. It dominates our everyday life. The equipment we're using, the televisions you watch, the cell phones you use, they all have semiconductors in them, and it wouldn't work if quantum electrodynamics was not the rules. So electromagnetic forces are already a quantum field theory. And so it's really, and then you have the nuclear stuff, and so between the nuclear stuff and the electron stuff and photons, you've got pretty much everything else except gravity. What I'm proving is you already had all you needed. Gravity is emergent from entanglement of virtual particles with actual particles. So virtual particles arise from the great crazy randomness that happens at the lowest energy level in the universe in what's called the quantum vacuum. So you have this bubbling sea, And every now and again, the bubbling sea reaches up and grabs something out of the air and holds on to it. That holding on to it is entanglement. And the entanglement is the source of curvature in the universe. And we know from Einstein that gravity is curvature. So from the quantum sea, we know that curvature comes from interactions with the quantum vacuum, and the quantum vacuum folds space and gives us gravity. You are interacting with the quantum vacuum where you're standing. And as a result, that quantum vacuum is in the curvature by all the quantum vacuum interactions in the Earth. And so the Earth curves space, you curve space, but the Earth curves space more than you do, so you feel weight. And it's measurable. It feels like a force, it's not a force. So if it will sound egotistical, but I'm going to tell you exactly what you ought to know. 80 years, people have been looking for the unified field theory, the actual theory of everything. I think I am one day away from finishing it. And I know that from a download, I will win the Nobel Prize. So others, I watched a video one time at the Nobel ceremonies where all these scientists sat around a table and they sat there and the moderator said, well, we want to have each of you tell us what was your inspiration for your work. This led to your Nobel Prize. And they went around the table and one after another, every single one of them said they had a download. You can find that video on YouTube and watch those scientists tell you that just like me, they got downloads. And by that, I mean something or someone or something or some God in the universe drops secrets into my head. I often don't even know how to do it. I know it's right, but then I have to work hard, build teams, etc., to get it to go. I have a new team member. The team member is easy. Team member costs me $200 a month. It's called artificial intelligence. So I'm the professor. I guide the research. The entire team of agents and one of these AIs are my graduate students. I lead them where they need to go to earn their masters and their PhDs. And that is absolutely the way a research professor works at a university. So I guide them, cajole them, tell them, direct them, change paths, just like a professor would. So my graduate students are over there in that computer right across the room. It's a brave new world. The one thing it does do, it does search for papers for references faster than any human could, or any 20 humans, or any 100 humans could. When I say, I know you need to do this calculation, and, I could do it, but will you do it? This is the calculation we need to do to show what we've said is right. It can write that code in 3 minutes, run it, and know the answer in 5 minutes, where it might take me a month. So with AI and a really good subject matter expert, you've got a serious team. And the revolution in science in all areas is going to be unbelievable. A lot of people are afraid of this. I'm not afraid of it. I'm rejoicing because what I really think this is going to lead to is 0 point energy. That's where I believe this is going to go because I keep getting told that up here. Now, I want you to understand what 0 point energy means. You may have heard it, but I don't think you actually get it. The universe gives you energy for free. It costs you nothing. You have it, you've earned it by being in your universe. It's absolutely free so long as we can find a way to make it do work. I think we can make it do work. So if all the energy we would ever need can actually do work, that's the end of all need and want. It disappears from the earth. We can stop polluting. We can stop putting gasoline in our cars. We can stop buying electricity from the power company, stop digging coal out of the ground, stop pumping fossil fuels out of the ground, and stop putting nuclear waste in the world. It's free. The universe gave it to you. And so it's a major deal. So Charles Bierler is a scientist at NASA, and he has got a theory, which I'm testing because I don't know, because he's keeping it secret. I don't intend to keep how it works secret. He claims that without any rocket propellant, he can turn on an electromagnetic field and drive his spacecraft with it, only using the 0 point energy. So the 0 point energy provides the electricity that drives a spacecraft that has no rocket. That means in a short time, we will have a probe on every single solid body in the entire solar system. And all of a sudden, because of 0 point energy is everywhere, we will go become a Kardashev 2 civilization. We will leap over Kardashev 1 to Kardashev 2. We're using all the available energy in our solar system because it's there for free. We will have things land on every moon. We will dip into every atmosphere. We will know everything that we will find all life in the solar system as soon as these two things come to fruition. And with gigantic satellites, we want gigantic satellites to go up. Well, this little Bueller motor won't lift a gigantic satellite out of the gravity well from Earth. SpaceX, Starship, and Super Heavy are the ideal vehicle to take these monster payloads into orbit. Tons and tons, 100 tons. A 100-ton spacecraft can do more science than anyone ever thought possible. However, now I can propel it to wherever it needs to go with 0 point energy and small thrust. All I have to do is keep it turned on for a long time, and before I know it, I'm going half the speed of light. It's just a brave new world we're about to enter. And I have these feelings that I want to discuss. I don't know how many of you are experiencers, so I won't presume that you are. I know Anna is, but I won't presume about the rest of you, but so am I. Now, Anna and I know each other, but anyway, and she knows how much I talk about being an experiencer, having lived with a psychic medium, having talked to a creature walking up on me in my backyard. She knows all that. And because she's heard me say it before. Okay. I believe that they live with us here on Earth. Some are good, some are not good. The not good ones want to use us for their own purposes. The good ones want to free us so that we can do what we want. And the ones that are not on Earth but nearby, they want to make sure we never escape from Earth until we grow up and stop killing each other. Because the last piece of work I'm going to tell you about is the most important work I will have done in my life, and I will die a happy man. Donald R. Hoffman is a cognitive scientist at UC Irvine, and for years he's been saying that he believes consciousness is fundamental and that we do not live in reality. So what does he mean by we do not live in reality? So he has a conscious agent model with objects in it for given a mathematical representation of consciousness. And this mathematical representation has some interesting features, but he's able to subject the way it behaves to game theory of evolution. So evolution runs like a game. Everybody's competing for resources, and only the most fit beings win because everybody else steals their food unless they defend themselves. So the best, most able beings will be the one that get all the resources and thrive. Donald proved that if we see and perceive reality, the game theory of evolution automatically selects against us. Our perceptual system does not see reality, or we would not be here because we would not have evolved. What we actually see is the best thing our perceptual system could do for us, which is give us the information that maximizes our chance of survival. What our senses give us is optimization of our fitness to survive. That's the fitness function. But that also means we live in an illusion. That is a direct corollary of Hoffman's proof of cognitive theory, game theory, telling us we do not see reality. So then I got really interested. I wanted to prove that consciousness was some thermodynamic addition, since all the stuff I saw with instance, you had thermodynamics were involved in all sorts of physics. So I thought the relationship was thermodynamic. I tried to find it. And I read this book, The Orb Project, in which a version of the thermodynamic interface between all these things on Earth they wrote it down, but I never could make it work. So Donald contracted COVID, and he disappeared for a year, and he almost died, which we didn't learn until he came back, all fired up to do more work. So a fantastic physicist at the Institute for Advanced Studies told Donald, I love your conscious agents, but if they're going to help us with physics, they need to have this weird thing that I think you can make your conscious agents out. And this weird thing looks this little weird little machinery is called a decorated permutation. Forget what it is. It's a black box, but it carries all of your conscious experiences and conscious enabled activities. And so Donald did something amazing with his team. He took his first thing he did was prove that he could measure the scattering amplitudes of particles that were in the Large Hadron Collider using decorated permutations. So that really got him fired up. So he went further with his team, and he derived Einstein's special theory of relativity from his collection of decorated permutations. Well, now I'm really fired up. I went, well, I don't know about gravity, but I'm going to see if I can do the rest of quantum field theory. Because if I can do quantum field theory, I mean, I've got Jacobson and others saying that gravity is emergent. And so but let me concentrate on quantum field theory. And if gravity is emergent, that means I have the theory of everything coming from consciousness. Our consciousness creates our reality, and it also creates the physicalities in our reality, if what he said is right. So for a year and a half, I've been working on Donald Hoffman's conscious agents model based on decorated permutations that evolve by Markovian means give us quantum field theory. I thought 5 times today it was done. But what it's doing is it's hunting around inside of a ball for where the target is. So it's jumping all around the target, trying to get in closer and closer, and it's following its nose, and it's trying to find the center of the ball. It is really close. There were 5 parameters it needed to show were true. It has 4 out of the 5, and it's working on the 5th. So let's suppose I succeed. Consciousness gives rise to all of physics, and we do not live in reality. We live in an illusion. And furthermore, since we are a conscious being and we make our reality, that means we also control physics. Just the kingdom of God is within you. And if you but have the faith in a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. and I'm about to prove it.
Wow, that is a lot. I think you're probably going to succeed too.
I'm going to make it.
Um,
I'm sure of it because the download they're I wake up at 3:30 every morning and they don't leave me alone. Patricia sometimes gets so upset with how much I'm all into it. We have a fight.
okay.
But look, I'm trying to calm down from my newlywed wife so she doesn't get too upset with me. But I'm telling you, the downloads, they are wow. They are in a hurry for me to finish.
How do you think humanity is going to react to that?
Both good and bad. We already know what the secret people are doing. They're trying to make a weapon out of it. They realized a lot. How many times have you heard UFO people say, if you don't know ESP and things like that, you can't fly the craft? And that's what I'm talking about. You
Mhm.
fly the craft with your mind. Your consciousness flies the craft. Furthermore, you don't need a motor. Your brain is driving the motor by making the craft go. They are the craft when they touch their hand to it. Their consciousness is everything. The one thing they need, everybody and their brother makes a mistake. Bob Lazar said the gravity amplifier is in this driven by this reactor, which goes through these three horns looking down. That's not what's going on. The he talks about Mash putting his hands on that reactor and feeling the gravitational propulsion. So there's something inside there making gravity, and it's amplified in those things that are pointing at the skin of the craft. Wrong. That what we know for a fact that what that's doing is protecting you from being a moron. How do we know that? We know for a fact they took one of those reactors out on Papoose Lake, tried to open it, and blew a crater 100 yards wide in the Papoose Lake. It was to protect them from being stupid. They were stupid anyway. All right. So, what is it? What actually is it? It is making a field, electromagnetic field, which sends photons into the skin of a spacecraft. And the skin of that spacecraft is a metamaterial. Don't worry about what it is. Learn what that means later. But it's a skin with weird properties. And then when they excite that weird property, it glows because it's got a ton of charge on it. We've all seen videos of that. But the glow is the shield from torsion that stuff induces in that metamaterial. People can go look up torsion, look up metamaterial, and you understand that Einstein's field equations do not work anywhere but in the vacuum. In a field, Einstein and Cartan shows torsion happens in a material. You optimize the material for torsion, and suddenly you get all the stuff going on, and it's the shield. Alcubierre Drive is a warp field where it looks like it's surfing a wave in space-time. But the front nose tipped over and going. Know how these things always tilt up and go? There you go. But the nose out here goes forward really fast. But when it goes faster than the speed of light, photons pile up at the front just like air or wave would if you were running forward in a boat. Photons pile up. They can't go faster than light. So they just pile up and stick. Well, if you turn the thing off, all those energetic photons release all at once, and they would zap everybody inside that craft with gamma rays and turn them into ash. The torsion with the little field is the shield that keeps the spacecraft from burning you up when it stops. This is all brand new stuff, and most physics would tell you I'm an idiot and don't know any of this. Just know downloads, all downloads. So I think we're about to have all the energy we need to thrive and the ability to go wherever we want. And the people that are not, the beings that are not on the earth, they are going to keep us here until we grow up. So if the bad ones on earth decide to blow us up, my guess is the ones that are off earth will take those that don't believe that we should make weapons out of science and save them. That means all of us have an opportunity to learn how to behave. And according to most people that I know in this weird field, when is the troubled time coming, Anna?
I think we're already in it.
No, we're in the beginning of, but I mean the real trouble. Next year. Get right, because everybody says it's next year.
I I understand what you're talking about when you talk about downloads. I have experienced those myself, and I think quite a few people in ufology have experienced some form of that, whether they recognize it or not.
My
I have
inspiration for the consciousness stuff was Grant Cameron, who got all those downloads about consciousness. Grant Cameron wrote the best book on consciousness ever written that has both science and experiencers called Contact Modalities that he wrote with Desta Burnaby. Her book, which succeeds it, tells you how to do every form of it from ESP, remote viewing, channeling, scrying, dowsing. She has a recipe for doing it. No woo woo, a recipe for each of them. So there you go.
So I do see that we have a question from Jamie. Are you able to see the question?
I saw it, but it would disappear before I finished.
Let me pull up our chats here and I'll read it off to you. So most of that is just before meeting stuff. Jamie says, can you explain how you determine you were experiencing downloads rather than creativity and ideas from your own knowledge-filled mind?
Okay, but sometimes I'm sure that happens, but the times I'm talking to you about Hawkeye 360, um, quantum field theory, and quantum field theory from consciousness, here's how much training and experience I have in any of that. My first paper in physics is a Nobel Prize winning effort, if I'm right. That is not possible with zero training. Just not possible. That's how you know. I can do things that I have no idea how I'm able to do it. And sometimes it's so goofy that I have to find people who are subject matter experts in the field to help me bring it to fruition because I don't know how. I know it's true. You get this overwhelming sense of knowing, and it becomes an obsession. You find the people and you get it done.
Excuse me,
So it
Bob.
looks like
Can I ask, following up on the previous question, do you feel it within your body or your mind in
I
a different?
get chills from
Okay,
head to toe. It
thank
is just overwhelming sense of not bad, but huge pressure on you. And I'm right now I'm getting them. Why? Because it's telling me I'm telling you the truth. If I did all these chills, I know I'm telling the truth. If I say something is a fact and I don't get these chills, I think hard about it because I'm not right. I constantly get these signals. So I'm a very open, truthful person because I'm constantly reminded when I'm right and when I'm wrong.
thank you.
we've got a couple more in the chat. Susan asks, what's the name of the book about scrying, remote viewing, et cetera, please? I'm assuming she's talking about Grant Cameron's book and Dusty
No, no, no,
Barnaby's.
no. He's not. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to
Oh,
tell
okay.
you because it's right here in my Audible because I'm doing it again. Unlocking Psychic Potential by Desta Bernabe. Desta Burnaby. Unlocking Psychic Potential. And the book before that was Contact Modalities that Grant Cameron and Desta wrote together. And in the book is really his preface is just it's just Grant. He says, I realized that Desta has all these really unbelievable abilities because I give her this pile of crap because I talk 95 miles an hour and nobody can ever follow me when I talk, and my writing's even worse. But I get back these awesome books that keep selling. And he said, I realized that I had to stop saying I wrote them, that Desta and her mother were actually rewriting them using her encyclopedic knowledge about the field and turning them into real books. So they're quite the team. But her book is a recipe book for how to do it. She tells you how to get into the headspace you need to be in. And then from the headspace you need to be in, she tells you how to do channeling, tells you how to do scrying, tells you how to do dowsing. And just from my own personal experience, since I'm taught by Angela Ford how to do remote viewing, but Desta and Angela teach the same way. And it's kind of interesting. Here's Angela and Desta's method for doing remote viewing. Notice I'm not saying coordinate remote viewing because here's what it is. Okay, we have a target today. I don't know what it is. She doesn't know what it is, and you don't know what it is. So all of us are blind to it. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Tell me what you got. There is no coordinate remote viewing with these people. They don't have a recipe. Whatever method you want to use, any of those in Desta's book makes you a perfectly good and capable remote viewer. But remote viewing is only one thing. She talks about how to do telekinetics, how to move things with your mind. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Moving things with your mind shows that our consciousness has control over the physical forces that we see in our reality. That makes it potentially usable as a weapon. I don't want that. I'll have nothing to do with that. So I've been with the intelligence community on and off for a long time. You should be aware that I do not work on weapons. I do not shoot people. I work on situational awareness for groups of people, men and women, going into the field in harm's way. And my only task is give them awareness that keeps them from getting killed. It's defensive only. That's the only kind of work I will do is defensive. No offensive weapon. It's against my ethics.
I appreciate that. We have another question. I'm not sure I understand it quite, but it says, since Sky 360 can self-imploded, can you recommend another group to provide some assistance to build out a multi-sensor platform to be used during RCE5? Thanks.
Oh, that's a great question. You just need to read go look at my SCU presentation or my a UFO Summit cosmetation from Breed Summers, a UFO Summit, and my upcoming paper to SCU and sky360.org. Not sky, not, what is it? What is it? Hang on just a minute. Let me get it right. I founded UAPTN. That turned into Sky Hub, then into Sky 360. Sky 360 has not actually imploded. It's like any groups, there's fights internally, but the work goes on. It's just, well, I founded UAPTN and I took on a bad person. The person left, went to Sky Hub. And then after 2 years of work, not able to get anywhere, he quit and dumped everything. And I had put $120,000 into Sky Hub. So all of that equipment went to Sky 360. And there's still work going on, but you will now know that the work that's being done in sky360.org, I am doing myself using AI to run the programs, and I will build the platforms. And my goal is you can self-assemble, download the code for free from me, and save a ton of money. And for under $2,000, you'll have a Cadillac sensor system that will tell you when airplanes are up, don't look at them. That's a satellite, don't look at it. That's an astronomical body, don't look at it. That's a bug, that's a bird. It'll tell you all those things and says those are not what you're after. But if it's not any of those, it goes into the I don't know bucket, and it starts tracking it with passive radar. This is radar that in my best version is as good as a military radar, and it costs $700. But it's because the code I'm doing, I give away for free. My GitHub repository is github.com/N4HY, which is my amateur radio call sign. So I'm the source for what's happening now.
We do have a question here, but first, I think I'm not sure if the door here is locked. Could somebody check? Because someone was trying to get in and I think maybe it's locked from the outside. I'm not sure. Sorry about that, Bob.
No, you're fine.
Did you want to come up and ask your question? The question was, can you repeat what it is called? I think she wants to write it down.
What is called?
What you were just describing, she said.
Pinpoints what we need to be focused on.
Okay. So I'm building a sensor package. It'll have 2 cameras, gravitometers, magnetometers, compass, temperature, pressure, microphones for sound, microphones for infrasound. It'll have microphone and magnetic gradiometer, so you could have a buoy floating in the ocean and it'll see something going underneath it and trigger an alarm. So I'm trying to enable all modalities for the sensor package, air, sea, and land. Do it all at once. And AI is helping me. And the computer, oh, hang on a second. Let me grab it. I'll be right back. This is an artificial intelligence supercomputer. It does 50 trillion operations per second. It costs $500 and burns less power than a light bulb, an old light bulb, not an LED light bulb. And it can run all that entire sensor package loafing. So this had a bug in it, and I fixed the bug. And the bug fix you can see on my GitHub repository. The neural processing unit, they had a bug. They didn't fix it. I did because I needed it. Okay, so passive radar, as good as a military radar. Here it is, $700. That's lobbyist. So when you marry subject matter expertise with desire, you don't need. Avi Loeb wants $1 billion for his sensors. About half of mine are going to outperform his and cost total whole package under $2,000. We don't need to give Avi enough money for him to be the next president of Harvard. We need to have it cheap and distributable so all of us can do observations and not need the government at all.
So we definitely have some more questions. I think maybe Sandy was first, so I'll take Sandy. But before that, Brad just wanted to say thanks for such a great and complete answer to his question. Sandy says, are you delving into the science of Tesla? Do you fear retribution from those that have financial interest in the status quo?
What I was telling you earlier about me doing quantum field theory, I'm also doing quantum extended electrodynamics. And in it, there's a longitudinal scalar wave. I'm working on it. So I'll be honest with you. They haven't messed with me. They know I'm doing this stuff. I have not been bothered once. Now, if I started running around saying that guy over there, he killed somebody to keep them from telling about the craft and the aliens, I think they would mess with me then. I'm not doing that. If I know, I won't say it. All I care about is the truth. Not about them, but about reality and who's visiting us and how we can interact with them and so forth. That and my X handle is Bob McGwire, McGwire _ N4HY. That's my name and call sign, and it's Science Bob is the name on it. Okay.
Could you repeat that one? I
Yeah.
think we have some people that were trying to write that down.
Yeah, Bob, B-O-B, McGwire underscore N4HY. That's my real Twitter handle, but Science Bob will find it if you do a search. Okay. And there is a president that follows me, and I follow him. He might be brown.
I won't say anything, but I know who that is. So, we do have,
and there's a reason. When you get that well connected, people leave you alone.
I'm sure there's multiple reasons for that, but I won't bring any of those up in this discussion. We will probably take the next question in rapids, and then Darlene will go to you.
Okay, someone sitting alongside me that will speak.
Hey, Bob, thank you so much for your presentation. I kind of feel like I've had a download just listening to you. I'm curious about, was there anyone else on the Hill when you were there? Were they other physicists or autistic children, or what was that like for you?
That's a great question. You're going to find out how honest I am. I have no memory of being on the Hill. All I ever see is the effects of being on the Hill. So it's like an abduction. I have had missing time.
Okay, thank you.
Darlene, you're up next. If
I
you
mean,
want to unmute.
I want to tell you, there's no need to inflate the miraculous. Just tell it like it is.
Right.
Hi, Bob. Thank you for your presentation. I also have downloads, but my question is, I didn't get the name of the book that you said Desti Bernade wrote. What was it?
Desta Burnaby. Yeah, it's
Burnaby.
hang on just a minute. Let me bring it up again because I want to get it exactly right. As you can tell, I'm pretty informal. Unlocking Psychic Potential. Is that focused? There we go.
Now we can see.
Unlocking Psychic Potential by Desta Burnaby. She's a fantastic Canadian psychic.
Okay. And Desta is D-E-S-T-A?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, it's cheap. Unlocking Psychic Potential. It's cheap. That if you have a Kindle, you can do it and you have what is it? That Kindle thing where you get books for $0 by checking them out of a library. It's all of Desta and Grant's books are in that. Kindle Unlimited or whatever they call it.
Thank you.
If any of you want to buy my Kindle book, it's called Modern Computational Nonlinear Filtering. And if you get past the first page, I'll give you $1.
I was just going to mention your book. I did attempt to understand a little bit of it, and it's
thick. It's really thick.
My brain isn't quite as well developed as yours, or my
Oh,
download.
no. We're all intelligent, sentient energy beings, and I just listen to a different note than you do.
Yes, it's a great read if you have the foundations necessary to understand what he's talking about. It's a great read.
Yeah.
So
it's the mathematics of navigating your airplane, flying a missile toward an airplane and having it track it, having a spacecraft go to the solar system and move where it needs to, or decoding digital signals that are noisy. It's the mathematics of all that. That's called nonlinear filtering and smoothing.
Well, just a note about me, and this isn't about me, of course, but I never made it past 7th grade math officially. Yet I was able to learn what I needed to know for nursing and for physics and chemistry in college.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of deficits.
You are a right-brained person, a very, very right-brained person, not left brain, right brain. So, I can't say who, but I'm joining a company where there are two remarkable people in it, and they're both right-brained people, but they need an interface to the world. So they have all these great ideas like you're talking about. I mean, some of them are unbelievable, but somebody has to write it down in mathematics so that others can use it and buy it. So they've been trapped for 3.5 decades with one idea after another and no one to translate it so everyone else could use it. That's my job.
Interesting. I will stay tuned to hear more about that as time goes by. We do have a question. Is that Millie? It just says Milg.
Yes, yes, it's Millie.
Go ahead, Millie.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. First of all, people, I don't think are going to behave like you think that they're going to. Why don't the aliens come to Earth now and tell us in person so that we damn well listen now instead of waiting for us to behave and we're not going to? I don't understand that part.
I have a hard message. I'm not going to soft pedal it. I'm going to make it hard. They want us to leave. They really do. They're not going to leave until we ascend. When we lay down our ugly nature, we are a candidate for going. If you do not, you'll be left behind for whatever mess happens. So I want you to imagine the world with all the good people gone. I don't think you want to be here.
I'm not grasping what you're talking about. Why? So I don't understand. What do they want to do, and where do they want the good people or the bad people to go? I don't.
They want the good people to go with them because they are our brothers and sisters and we are all one.
But with them where? To another planet?
Wherever you decide to go, it's free will. They want you to be able to escape here if you lay down jealousy, anger, hatred, violence. But they are free will imperialists. You have to choose to be able to do those things in order to go. That's their only assurance that you will behave when you get there.
Well, what if we don't want to leave this Earth or
Then
wherever they want to go?
I'll be praying for you. I
So what are
told
they
you,
going to do? They're going to blow up the
I
Earth?
am not here to give you an easy message.
Well, that doesn't bother me. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to understand where they want us to go. Why do they want us to behave? Do they want to take over the Earth and get rid of us? That's
No, that they want to save those who will join them because they are our family. They would love for all of us to go. You have to earn your place in the family. The earning is lay down all the negative.
Are they the Nordics?
I don't know the answer.
Oh, okay. All right. So
The Nordics are real. I mean, they're out they're in Europe and they're also out near Nellis Air Force Base.
okay, so my second question is, since you said that we don't live in reality, how do I change my behavior to be healthier since I can't seem to do it myself? I keep falling back and falling back and falling back. How do I do that?
Okay, look, let me make a confession. You wouldn't recognize me 10 years ago. I was deeply depressed. I was suicidal. And I grew desperate. So I heard of a experimental treatment that I decided to take under a doctor's supervision with a therapist, who was a cognitive behavioral therapist. And It was cheap. It was like $100 a month, and for however long it took, and then $200 for the medicine. It was a psychedelic drug called ketamine, and ketamine is now known to induce neuroplasticity. And when your brain is very plastic and changeable, the cognitive behavioral therapist reprograms your brain with you. So if you want to change desperately, that's a way to do it. And you can go find these people that do that kind of therapy. It's legal in many places and illegal in some. But it worked for me, and I was cured of depression that had kept me in a bad place for 5 years. I am no longer depressed, and I'm working my tail off and having a great time, and got married.
How long did it take you?
65 days.
Well, isn't ketamine dangerous though?
It is not under a medical doctor's supervision, and they start slow and they increase the dose until they can detect you've had the desired effect. And then they leave it there until the end of the therapy.
And what does it actually do to you?
It makes your brain reprogrammable.
Oh, does it reprogram your brain, or do you have to start thinking positive and after you start taking it?
I said there was a cognitive behavioral therapist involved. That is their job to do with you. You
Okay.
and the therapist work together to substitute good behavior for bad behavior. That's what
Oh,
cognitive behavioral therapy is.
okay.
And it's mostly thinking a good thought every time you have a bad one. You have to, and next time you have a bad one, you think two good thoughts. And every morning when you get out of bed, the first thing you do is close your eyes, do the best you can at putting everything else out of your head, and name 10 things you're grateful for. And then the next day, one more, 11, then 12. And when you get to 20 or 30, just keep doing it. Those things you're grateful for every morning. The impact on your brain is measurable in an EEG. And what was once depressive brain state disappears. It works measurably. Published papers, peer-reviewed, medical.
Okay, but what does that have to do with not living in a reality?
Oh, no, not living in reality. This means we don't see reality. What we see is the things our eyes, nose, mouth, feelings tell us is reality. That's not reality. You don't see all electromagnetic waves. You don't see everything that's on the other side of the universe. You see what your senses allow you to see, which is a tiny, tiny piece of what makes up the universe. And even that's not all of it. So we live in the illusion our senses tell us. The picture of the vase where you can see a vase or two faces.
Yeah.
That's an illusion. You've just demonstrated to yourself that your sensory system will fool you because it's not one or the other, it's both at the same time. It's in superposition. And so I'm just telling you, that's how it works. One thing is true, or the other thing is true, or they both can be true, but you don't know which is which when you see the vase but not the faces, or then you see the faces but not the vase. That's proof. That's proof that we do not always see reality. Well, Donald says we don't ever see reality, and he has a mathematical proof of it.
So there's no way to change my behavior through doing or not seeing that
Yes,
versus
yes,
taking.
there is. Yes, there is, because how your consciousness works has nothing to do with how you perceive reality. It's how you think internally. That's what you're trying to change.
Oh, okay.
We have another question here too, from Brad. And so he asked, how much memory does that GPU use? And I think he's referring to the equipment that you were holding up. Is
Yeah,
it
let's
the
see. It's
Jetson
32 gigabytes. 32 gigabytes of high-speed RAM, and I have a 2 terabyte storage device on it.
Brad, did that answer your question?
Yes, I just wanted to find out, Bob, we're using a NVIDIA Jetson Nano, I take it?
It's not. It's an Orange 6 Pi Plus. But the Jetson Nano is certainly good. I'm going to be using it as well to see which one I like the most.
Yeah, I just reviewed the Raspberry Pi 5 with the AI Pi hat on it. That version 2 apparently is supposed to be very good. So your thoughts on that as well, or have you tried it?
And I am going to try it, so I'm going to put my passive radar on both of them and see which is better. Because the passive radar is the most difficult one to do. The reason for the Orange 6 Pi Plus is the high-speed video processing is in hardware, not software.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's about all the questions I have. What's the best, if I have any others, what's the best way to, oh, you know what? I still have your email because you and I did an interview together a couple years back for Grant Cameron's Winnipeg meetup group. And right after you did one with Lauren Fenton. So I still have your contact info. So if I have any more questions, I'll just give you
Oh,
a shout.
and I don't care if everyone has it. My contact information is rwmcgwier@gmail.com. I get lots of emails, so pound on it so I get a chance to see it.
Okay, excellent. So much fun talking with you. Oh, and by the way, I always tried to catch you on Wednesday nights, or every month thing when you were doing Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. But I noticed you haven't been up there. So do you have other work commitments that are stopping you from?
Absolutely. I've started a new job and I got married. I just needed to take time off.
Congratulations, congratulations there, sir. All the best. I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure there's a few more questions there, but yeah,
Consciousness
just
has
great.
control over us.
Okay, we have a question in Grand Rapids. Anna, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Okay, we have a question from someone in our audience here. So Bob, with your downloads and or research, have you come across Chris Bledsoe?
I am the next to last event in UFOs of God. My ex-wife and I went and visited Chris. We saw 40-foot orbs, the largest he had ever seen, which he says they were really happy to see me. And I left there, and I have a scar from here to here, about 8 inches long, where I had the quadruple bypass. And soon after leaving, I had to go to the cardiologist who did a bunch of tests. He says, I can't explain this. You have the healthy heart of a 30-year-old that never had a coronary bypass. My ex-wife had that Anna met in Huntsville. She had a stroke, and Anna will remember she didn't act like she had a stroke. Well, there's a reason. She went there dragging her right foot and couldn't use her right arm. And 2 weeks after we left, all of it was gone. And her neurosurgeon said he couldn't treat her anymore because insurance wouldn't pay for a brain that had no lesion and therefore could not have had a stroke.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's fascinating. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
So, Bob, I have a question for you. Can you talk a little bit about UFO sightings that you've personally had and how you've been able to interpret them? Guess I'm not forming my question well, but
Do I have ability to share screen?
You do, yes. I think.
I'll try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. All right. Let's maximize this if I can. Where is the maximizing? Okay. Well, let's do the best I can. Yeah. Okay. That is a spacecraft that I took from a UFO I took a picture of from my back deck. This is another UFO that I took from a camera on my back deck. This is the same UFO rotated 90 degrees 2 weeks later, taken from my deck. I don't know what that is. This is a whatever that flew over my truck when I was parked near the golf course by where I live. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Those two things right there are two beings who have can-opened this roof and went in and abducted my neighbor. That shadow and that shadow. You can see the humanoid shape. Oh, let me do this. Okay. Oh, I wish you could play this. That is an energy being that came down and landed on my deck, went thump, got really bright, and took on that humanoid hump. That is a bruise from an abduction that my old girlfriend had. There it is up close. This is a gigantic orb flying over my truck near the golf course. These are orbs flying over the graveyard near my home. Oh, this is my girlfriend putting a tri-field meter, and at one moment it'll jump up to almost 200. And watch closely. Right there, 197. So humans don't emit that much RF. Humans don't transmit. She's transmitting, and that's an implant that's in her skull transmitting. Okay. Here's another one of these energy streamers. See that streak and that streak? That's me on the back deck where I get visited. And that right there, I don't know what that is over the top, but it's not a cloud. I will not invade her privacy by showing you in the bedroom with the orbs flying all over her head and body. Oh, this was a good UFO. How many seen a UFO shaped like a cross? I don't know what that is. Just let me keep going because there's some good things I want to get to. There's a craft. Right out, took it with a camera on my back deck. Oh, come on. That's Patricia. If you ever see her, say hello. She's nice. Let me go back here to see if I could just pick out the one. Oh, here we go. Let me do this. This is faster. See all these craft, but I have a place I want to go. What I'm doing now, I'm doing for a reason. Oh, this is a surveillance craft that's around me all the time. There's my little friend. So that's 6 feet in front of me, taken with a Canon EOS R something or other camera, which is extremely expensive, with a $2,500 lens that went with it. This is a very good photograph of one eye, two eyes, a nose with the shadow along the bridge of the nose. And there's the top of its head coming down to a pointy chin, back around in shadow up here at the top of its head. That is some kind of gray alien with two black eyes, a nose, and very little mouth. And it said to me in my head, we would like for you to help us, and we will help you in return. And it says, but this is a free will decision because we're free will. We have a free will imperative. If you want the Star Trek first law, okay, that's what they live by. Okay, so I thought they told me that I had a while to think about it. So I came back and I said, walked out on the deck and I said, these are my rules. if you follow these rules in your interactions with me, my answer is yes. And I heard just like it was right next to me, done. Since then, I've had almost everything I wanted to happen in my life come true. I've learned about physics. I've had a company that made a lot of money. I know this stuff is real. I'm now the advisor to Psionic Asset, which is where the psionics from Skywatcher went. I see stuff all the time. And that happened after I agreed to do what it asked, not before. Okay. I think that's enough.
So I have another question for you. And it concerns the Oz factor, which I'm sure you are well aware of. And so, for those that are not aware, first of all, could you give a brief explanation as to what that is? And what I'd really like to know is what your thoughts are on what's actually happening when people experience that.
Hang on just a minute. I'm going to make sure I get it right. So I'm not all that familiar with it. So I'm going to look it up on AI. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely the truth. So it is hard to say all this stuff like I'm saying to you guys and not have, it would trouble me for a long time, but I accept it now, not have a single person in the room actually know what I'm talking about. That is the isolation you're talking about. And so Grant Cameron calls it the wow factor. And that's when what they're doing is making us go, wow, so we believe they're real. But then if you tell anybody, no one believes you. That's the part of it. That's the Oz factor. So it's you're having experiences that you don't understand why others don't know or believe.
So Jenny Randall also coined that term to kind of describe those experiences as being, a change in sound, a change in perception, where everything gets still. There's no sound, and I've had the fortune or misfortune of experiencing that on a number of occasions, and I've always tried to.
I'd like to share one.
Okay.
I don't know why it seems to come up every talk, and that's because I don't like to share it, because I almost can never get through it without crying. I was doing an intelligence operation in Israel, and I was there for 2 months. And the things I learned were not good. There are no good parties in the Middle East. They're all bad. I heard one side, the leader of one side, order the terrorists to go to a particular gate and go in and kill as many as they could. I heard the leader of the country that was attacked send murder squads to clear people out of the area adjacent to him so that they could take it over and keep it as theirs. I'm sure you can guess where I'm talking about. Well, this was back when Yasser Arafat was the leader of the West Bank and Ariel Sharon was the prime minister of Israel. That's all I'll say. It was deeply troubling. So I finished up my tour in Jerusalem. And at the end, I decided I would stay a few days extra with permission to do tourism. I broke the rules and went through the East Gate into the West Bank. Nobody bothered me. I got in a cab and I went to the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. And I felt a lot in there. So I left there. I went back to the Garden of Gethsemane. And I just had these intense feelings. So I discharged my taxi cab driver and I walked the same path Christ walked through the East Gate of Jerusalem. I'm going to cry again. wandered around. I found myself in front of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And I went inside and I saw where Christ was supposedly entombed. It was surrounded by Greek Orthodox priests who had their hand held out for money so you could see Christ's tomb. I was really upset. I was livid. So I knew that all through that area were where people buried people in tombs. And people don't understand what a tomb is. It's a hole in a rock. So I walked down where it went down a little ways, and there were like, I don't know, 12, 10 holes in a rock. And I realized that Christ, our supposed Savior, was laid to rest in a hole bored in rock. And, it was pretty astounding. But that's what they did in the first century AD. And up there by the tomb is supposedly the rock on which he was nailed to the cross. So I'm mulling around in there with several people who were, I guess, doing the same thing as I was. We didn't really talk to each other. And pretty soon we couldn't. All sound disappeared inside the cave. I could hear nothing. It was as if sound quit working. And all of a sudden I heard what sounded like a wind. But there was no breeze blowing by me. It just sounded like wind. And then there was a ding inside my head, and I heard a whisper that went, "Rock of Ages." And all of us, in every different language, began singing Rock of Ages together.
Wow.
How do you have doubt after that? Because to me, it was the Holy Spirit. And I left there a changed man. And I still can't tell a story 20-something years later without crying, because I've been given a gift. If by his hand he guided me, how faithful I would be. That's it.
So do you think, because what you're describing is very similar to when people have UFO experiences.
I want to remind people of something. Let me remind people of something. Jesus' father was not a human. Jesus is a hybrid.
People get upset with me when I say that Jesus
I don't
is a
care,
hybrid.
but it is true. The Holy
God is
Spirit or the Archangel Gabriel or whatever is not human. A non-human intelligence impregnated Mary. That means he's a hybrid.
I would definitely agree. As always, religion can spark controversy, which is a sad
Well,
thing.
I think it's clear that I'm a believer. I just don't believe he was a man. He was part man and part God. He was a hybrid.
Do you think, though, that I guess I'm wondering, so that sounds much more like a spiritual representation of the Oz factor. Do you think that's the same kind of thing that's going on when people have that experience when seeing UFOs?
What I call God now, I call it the universal consciousness, since Hoffman is the guy who is telling me how to make it work. So I don't care whether you call it the Great Spirit or Allah or the Buddha or whatever you call it. So long as you live a good life and follow the moral and ethical teachings of the good ones, then as far as I'm concerned, when you get your Akashic record read out, it will have really bad moments, but it won't be as bad as lasting an eternity.
So do you feel anything, or I should say, what do you feel when you see UFO or UAP or any of the experiences that you've had?
So in my case, because I'm always doing it with people I know have loving insides, it's joyful. I never have once, not once, felt fear. Never. I don't bring fear to that because I don't want my fear to manipulate reality and make bad things happen. Fear, your internals create the reality you brought to it. That's what this consciousness stuff, as Hoffman is talking about, tells us. You create your own reality and you are creating an illusion.
Those are are deep subjects, aren't they?
Very. And as you can tell, I've been preaching it for a while.
Does anybody here in Fargo Moorhead have a question? I've been babbling on for a bit, so I want to make sure that there isn't any questions out there. Oh, I see we have Reiner.
Yep.
Reiner, welcome.
Good evening. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Reiner, how's it going?
Very well, very hot
Good,
here in
good to
Germany
see
at the
you.
moment.
Good to see you.
I like your presentation at STU and that you're talking about all the sensor system you're trying to put together. So I like sensors. I'm all about it. Great work. I hope they will be ready.
Yes, so I'm continuing to work with those who are still involved in Sky 360, and they have everything. They have everything
Nice.
I've done so far.
I have a
Oh,
more of a-
I'm sorry. And in addition, I'm sorry. Pardon me for interrupting. In addition, the French group that's in Sentinel, they are getting everything I've done as well, and they have a castle where all sensors all over it. So it's going to be neat.
Okay, nice, nice.
And the French
So-
government is supporting them.
Yeah, the French are very far ahead with Japon. I really like what they're
Yeah, I
doing.
mean, the Cometa report was way before anybody else did anything.
So my question will be, you said you are shortly before of combining all the forces or maybe developing on a space drive without propulsion system from zero energy. If you have found it or if you have figured out everything.
No.
is
I'm
there-
not done yet. I'm not
Yeah,
done.
I know. But will you have like an experiment on Earth to prove
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Okay. Because I've heard
So,
lots of, yeah, please continue.
So, I'll just straight up tell you, when you found a company like Hawkeye 360 and it does well, you have resources.
Okay, so when you're done with your work, you have an experiment which will prove on Earth this is right and this will work.
Yep.
That's perfect. Okay, great to hear, and I'm looking forward to it. Holding my
And
fingers
I
crossed that you find it
also
soon.
if I find out it's not true, I will tell everybody I was wrong.
That's equally important. Nice. Okay, thank you.
It's nice to have Project Hesdallen join us. I was just talking about Project Hesdallen before the meeting started, and I think there's a lot of things that Bob is working on that might be beneficial
Absolutely.
in the Valley.
Yeah,
So
just so he's aware, I'm coming to Sweden. I'm already on Beatrice Vasco project. I've been on it for like 2.5 months, and
Okay.
I'm coming to put my sono buoy and other things into the Baltic Sea if we can keep you out of war with Dennis.
Nice. Nice. I'm following her progress too with all the videos. Okay, great.
Yeah, so I did a meta-analysis of what they have done and what her detractors have said. The detractors will not be happy with my scientifically logical proof that, how can I say this? They are full of shit.
Okay.
interesting. I would like to hear more about that.
I'm going to publish it and I'll put up everywhere how you get it. Beatrice wants me to put it on Archive, ARXIV, and anyone is able to download anything up there and you will be able to see my paper. It's technical because it's correctly done, statistically relevant calculations, not the crap that Kevin Knuth did because he made a bad mistake, or this guy Wes who used to be in Vasco, which she let go because he was a moron. And they both have just like the one that's inside, it's a typical astronomer who doesn't understand statistics. He threw away 90% of the data because he didn't like it. That's not a valid statistical experiment. You don't get to choose your data. And so that was just so easy. It's ridiculous. It's almost, he's been so negative that either he was in love with her and she jilted him, or he's working for the bad guys. That's how bad it is.
Well, I think there's more than a few men out there that are in love with her. For a
Hey, I
variety
love
of
her too, but I'm married and we're friends.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Who's that everybody's in love with?
She's a very attractive, very brilliant. She's a physicist, correct?
She's an astronomer and does
An astronomer.
astrophysics.
Astrophysics. That's what I was thinking that she does. So
She's published both astronomy and the Vasco thing, where they have disappearing things that can't be there because we hadn't launched any of them yet. That's astronomy.
yeah, she's a combination of beauty and brains, and she's a pretty decent person too.
Yeah, I
So,
like her. I spent quite a bit of time with her. I met her and Dennis at Contact in the Desert, and we hung out with Gene Sticko for a day, and then we saw each other nonstop. We spent a lot of time together.
looks like Darlene has a question.
Hi, Bob. All the pictures that you said you took from your back patio. What area of the U.S. is that?
Okay, that's Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Havre de Grace,
All right.
right near Aberdeen Proving Grounds, which is why the triangles that keep flying over my house are from there.
Okay. I've never been in that area, so I'm not, but just in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
Can we see some more pictures?
Let's see. I'll take a look and see if there's anything great that I really want to show. Because there's a lot more pictures. I don't remember them all. It's been a while. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's do this one. All right. I'm going to go up here and start. Hang on one second. Let me find it. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, where is share the screen? Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. That looks weird, doesn't it? Two of pictures. They both look weird. That's a camera pointed at the night sky. This one taken a short way from where I live in a park. This one taken by a woman living in Michigan after she saw mine. And so they're similar, but not exactly. This one, all the holes are the same. This one, these two holes are the same as these two, but these two holes are open. And over here is a little machine elf with one eye, two eyes, a nose, a mouth, a bearded chin, and an arm with a wand in it. Let's go over here to this one. Wait, there's something inside that hole. What is that? We need to go find out. Ah, I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay. We're going to go down here and find it. This is me zoomed in on and processing that hole. That looks like a craft coming through a portal to me. Portal crafting coming through the hole.
Looks like that's what Earl was asking too.
Yep. Am I certain? Of course not. They didn't come down and tell me, hey, I'm here and I'm a portal. All I got is a picture. I didn't get a fancy fuzzy alien tell me it loved me. It just let me have this picture, and I couldn't see any of that in the sky. It was like imprinted it on my camera, which is
We do have
a very, very expensive camera. Does not have defects.
we do have another question in the chat if you're ready for the question.
Yep.
Says, good afternoon. Thank you for your presentation. Question. Are you considering collecting data using the Stark effect and the Zeeman effect with your sensor system?
What I'm doing is putting a multi-sensor package together. So anything that's anomalous will trigger a recording. Then all sensors will be recorded so that all the sensors can be looked at what you think is anomalous to see if there's anomalies occurring in the other sensors. That's a whole lot better than, hey, bro, I had a visit by an alien, or a lot better than a fuzzy picture that you can't even see. So if you got 12 other sensors saying, hey, that's weird, that's a little better evidence. So the answer is yes. Quantum effects will be there. Spectroscope, where I look at the light and it splits it into the colors. That's how you do chemical compositions. So yeah, that'll be there. It'll be enabled.
Thank
You may choose not to do it. What you put in the box will be up to you. You get a computer, you got to have one camera and software, and you can capture the whole sky and it'll see if it can find things in it while you sleep at night. But if you decide, hey, I might like to zoom in and track on that, this little camera will say, hey, there's something, and your pan tilt zoom will automatically go up and point at it, zoom in, and track it across the sky. And then you'll also get the ADS-B transmitter out of the antenna you have on the side of the box, or for download from the internet. And then you'll say, hey, that thing you're pointing at, that's an airplane, go away. And you'll go back to looking. Or, nope, that's a satellite. Nope, that's a bird. Nope, that's a bug. You really have to see absolutely physics anonymous behavior to record this thing. You got to have a right hand. You have to have the 5 observables from Lou Elizondo occur before I will record it as an anomaly. That way you always get only anomalous stuff.
Is that like a more sophisticated what do you call that? DAP cam?
Yes, I don't know whether it's more sophisticated or not. It's just the one I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I have a feeling that Reiner is very interested in that. So I'm glad he's here today. If we don't have any more questions, we might take a quick break, maybe 10 minutes.
Hey, one more question, Anna, from Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I was wondering, since you showed the pictures of the side-by-side grids, if you had any thoughts on crop circles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To me, that thing I saw in the sky and a crop circle are the same thing. There are, wow, look at us. Here we are. They're trying to teach us, and they don't want to go through government. They want the teaching. Every time you see something weird like that, you can measure the neuroplastic changes in your brain. They're trying to wake us up.
Thank
They're
you.
the same
All
to
right.
me.
So just a heads up in Rapids, we can start to see some of the people. So if they don't want to be in the video, you might want to move the camera back over. We have people that sit in certain places so that they're not on camera, Bob, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, which I think you understand probably why. So I think we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back. And if, Bob, you're welcome to stay with us.
I have a lot to do. I'm trying to finish that physics paper so I can change the world.
Well, if you're not able to stay with us, that's okay. We want you to change the world. And thank you so much for coming and talking with us today.
It was great to see you, Anna. It was good to see you in Huntsville and later in wherever it was we were together at SCU and wherever. Contacting the desert, I see you all over the place.
Yeah, where was that? No, they
I
were.
don't
It was
know.
both Huntsville, right? Yeah,
It was
Huntsville, the
what?
Rock. I think the both times we've been at the SCU conference together, it was Huntsville.
There was
Um,
someplace else besides Huntsville. I don't
I'm sure
remember
you're
where,
right.
but it was someplace else.
I'm sure you're right.
Oh no, no, no,
Um,
no. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was you remember we were one at the restaurant, then we had the one in Huntsville at the center. Yeah, it's
yeah,
been both in Huntsville, but in different buildings. You're right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. And sadly, you couldn't come to Toronto, but we will
Oh
have
yeah,
to
and
connect.
the thing I liked about the one in the building is I got to show off a little bit. This is my challenge coin from Skywatcher that Jake Barber gave to me because I'm a member of Skywatcher.
Very
Nice.
cool.
I
And
remember that.
you should see my yeah, I'm sure I showed it to you. You should see my decal that I got from the Director of National Intelligence. Only 8 of them were printed that has a UFO flying across the sky before they pulled them all down and burned them. They didn't get mine.
All right. Well, thank you again, Bob. For
Yeah.
those watching in both locations and online, we will come back in about 10 minutes and we'll talk about some cases in the Northland here and a few other business related things on our chapter. So look forward to seeing you all in about 10 minutes or so.
Goodbye, all.
Bye,
Bye,
thank you.
so much.
Double cola. All right, give her a shot. It's actually not too bad. Not at all. You guys are still here. You made it to the end. Well, thank you. Hopefully you've hit the subscribe button, the like button, bell for notifications, all that stuff. Help us out. Brand new channel, trying to grow as much as we can. Appreciate all you can do for us. Thank you. You can hit the button and go see. Watch that other video that just popped up. It popped up around here somewhere. Watch that one. You got some interesting info in here, Mr. Good.
I think that might have been the best MUFON meeting I've been to.
And now for something completely different.
For those of you online, if you weren't aware, Northland MUFON is in 2 locations and online at the same time. So we are live in the Fargo-Moorhead area and live in the Grand Rapids, Minnesota area, and then we offer a Zoom link.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
So let's get started. So we have a winner for our July YouTube trivia. And I'm not sure if the winner actually wanted to win, but that winner is KT. So since there's a question about it, we're going to continue that question from last month through this month. So Jer's online YouTube trivia question. Want to win a $10 Amazon gift card? Answer the question, send it to us in an email. And if you're the first one to answer, you'll get that 10 bucks. So July's trivia question, which is going to go forward into August, is Earl Grey Anderson's presentation. What book was Jer reading at the end of that video? So you can find all of our videos on our YouTube channel. And if you find the one with Earl Grey Anderson, find out what book he was reading at the end of the video. And just send us an email. You can do northlandmufoninfo@gmail or northlandmufon@gmail. And he's given you a little hint there that there's an after credits scene. Our extraterrestrial joke of the month. It's something that's fun that we do every month. And so this month's extraterrestrial joke of the month is brought to you by Full Circle Soul, our own Ellie Maher. And she usually comes to the meeting. She's not here today, but if you are interested in hypnotherapy and past lives and all of that stuff, you can visit her at www.fullcirclesoul.net. And by, sounding like a PBS commercial, Itasca County Bigfoot Research Team. In fact, Zach Malmquist is part of that. He's the one that organizes that, and he's going to be our guest speaker in October. So if you would like to sponsor the extraterrestrial joke of the month, it's only 10 bucks. It's a little fundraiser for us. You can contact us in person or on the website or send us an email. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, Northland's extraterrestrial joke of the month. And I'm not promising it's a good joke. How do you get an alien to fall asleep? Do we have any answers here? How about in Rapids? Anybody online? If you're online, I might not be able to see you.
Raise your hand if you're online. Oh, Doug T has an answer.
And what does Doug think?
Saucer of warm milk.
Ooh, that's a good answer. It's not the correct one, but it's a good one. I like that one. I see we have some people in the chat, but I can't see what that is, so my apologies. You rock it. Again, didn't promise you a good joke.
Very good.
We got a couple chuckles, so that's good at least. So UFOs in the news. So what you see in front of you is just a screenshot off of the U.S. Department of War. And so as many of you know, they have been releasing files, and this was one of the ones that was in the 5th batch, which was just recently released. It's a little bit tough to see, so hopefully you can see it in Grand Rapids, but this is an artist's rendering. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything good as I sifted through all those files, but there are a number of triangular craft reports. And so this is one of the things that you would be able to see if you go to the U.S. Department of War's website, and you can get that at war.gov/UFO/. So one of my favorite parts of the meeting is what's going on in the skies over the Northland. And here are some of the best cases we've gotten since July's meeting, and we got a couple of updates too. And sadly, we don't have a lot of cases. We haven't had a single one in North Dakota. So if you're in North Dakota somewhere and you see something interesting, make sure to report it to MUFON.com. So here's an update. Case number 148195 was reported to us on July 15th but the date of the event was back in April. Time was early morning at 1:45 in the morning, and the location was St. Paul. So the witness description was, I was sitting outside staring up at the sky like always when a matte black triangle flew up behind a building. There were lights along the edges of the craft, but I can't recall how many. You might find it interesting that something very similar was in the UFO reports that we had just talked about. So I live near the airport, and it should say MSP, not KMSP. And this was different than an airplane. The triangle was silent and very close. I yelled for my fiance to come and look, but by the time he was out there, he was only able to see part of it as it was going behind a tree. So I know that Jer did just get a response from the witness. So nothing much has happened on this, except for last night he was supposed to interview this witness. I haven't heard back from Jer as he's busy with family if he was able to complete that. So hopefully next month we will have a case disposition for you on that case. Another case update, case number 148064. Date of event and was the same as the date it was reported back on July 7th. So the investigator here was Keeley, and this location was in South Minneapolis. The witness summary was witness took a video of windy weather and notices orbs in the video while reviewing it. Witness only saw the orbs in the video, and Keeley was able to close this case as completed IFO lens flare. And I'm going to play the video for you, just in case you weren't able to see the first time. So in the video, I'm not really able to see a lot of what she's talking about, but I know Keeley did her due diligence on this one. Not to put Keeley on the spot, but does she want to say something about it?
Yeah, so it was what I came to this disposition because there's many different sources of light in the video, and there is one faint blur of light, and with camera lenses or phone cameras the way they are and the way she was moving her phone around, I just determined that what she had seen must have been a lens flare because I saw nothing else going on in the video from what she sent. There was a moth flying around, but that she stated that was not what she saw. So,
well, that leads us to our field investigator tip of the month. So lens flares. Lens flares happen when the camera is pointed at a bright light or a bright light is entering the lens. So sometimes you might not even see the bright light in the image that was taken, but you'll see the lens flares. The light reflects off of the camera sensor or the inner lenses, depending upon the type of camera, and creates a flare. Flares can appear as single or multiple orbs, shapes, rays, foggy areas, and so much more. So you can see in the images, you can see on the first one where you have the car, there's very clear orbs. The light source is off to the right. And so in the image, you can't actually see the light source, but you do see the lens flares. And in the far right image, you have the trees there. You can see the sun. The camera is faced to the sun, and you can see the lens flare near the bottom. It looks like a bunch of orbs actually hovering on the ground. And so those are just very, very typical lens flares, and they definitely look unusual. So for field investigators, you're going to want to rule out lens flares if you have any kind of orb type objects. So this one looks, you can't probably see it, but there actually is a video here that I'll show you. This is a new case. It was submitted on the 14th, which was just yesterday. The date of the event was back on the 7th of August. Time was 10:30 at night. The location was Beaver Bay, Minnesota. Mark is the investigator, and it was just assigned to him because it just came in yesterday evening. And so the witness summary is multiple red orbs seen over Lake Superior. Now, in this one, you're probably not going to see multiple and they don't look all that red. There was a bunch of images that were attached to this, and I'm not quite sure what those images were about because they were in daytime. So it'll be interesting to see what Mark's interview reveals. But so give it just a second here. Hopefully, there you go.
It's that. Moving still.
So I'm just going to stop it there, not because there isn't anything else to see, but it's basically just that for the rest of the video. So take a look at the date and take a look at the location and the description. So this happened in early August up over Lake Superior at Beaver Bay. And it was multiple red orbs seen over Lake Superior. The reason why I'm pointing that out is our next case. So this happened on the 9th, 2 days after the previous one. And the time was about 8 o'clock at night. You can see that it's a little bit more daylight, but definitely evening. And it happened over Lake Superior, and the witness was in Grand Marais. So up the road about an hour and a half, something like that. And so Mark is the investigator for this one. It is in progress. And the witness summary is, from a cabin on the Lake Superior, we were playing cards when we saw a distant light over the lake. They appeared 3 times. First, there were 7 that either split or flickered out over several minutes. Then there were 3. And then the final time, there were 4 lights. And so you can't see a whole lot in this image until we zoom in. And so that is what he was seeing, the witness.
They're not moving. Yeah. That's scary. This is really cool.
And so there was additional images that they submitted, and that is these. So does anybody have any thoughts on what this might be, both this case and the previous one?
Thoughts on what it might be. I do think that video, the pattern of it looked like the constellation Cassiopeia. Is any relation?
So if you couldn't hear her, she said that she's not sure what it might be, but she thought that the video looked like the orientation of the lights was the same orientation as Cassiopeia. Very interesting. Anybody in Rapids or online?
Flares or Chinese lanterns?
Tell me about what kind of flares you think they might be.
Military flares?
I think that's a really good guess.
I say
Yes.
UFO.
There are military flares that can be used, but usually you'll see a parachute, even if there's a little bit of light, but they're always going down. They're always going straight down the diagonal.
So I'm going to play this video here. And I want you to take a look at what you see around the images, particularly on the top.
A drone?
And you can see the light reflecting off of the lake as well. So they're obviously pretty bright.
And Rainier
So-
said flight shows and formations maybe, or falling flares.
My suspicion is some kind of flare. This is an area that is known to have military uses. There is some semi-restricted airspace over there. And so I'm assuming that that's probably what's going on, but until we complete the investigation, we can't say for sure. So I'll defer to Mark on what he decides to conclude based on his research and investigation in this case. And sadly, that's what's up in the Northland. So if you see something and you want to investigate it, please report it. We definitely have investigators that want to have some cases. And for some reason, it's been really light. Typically in the summertime is when we get the most of our cases, and we just haven't had very many. I do want to put out one little caveat. We have been having some issues with our CMS system. That's the case management system that MUFON uses to compile all of its data. That's the system that when you file a report, it goes into our case management system. And so it's old, it's falling apart, and it's possible that there have been some cases that have been submitted, but we just never got them because of the system issues. We are going to be transferring over to a beautiful brand new system right after the symposium, which is coming up next month. Actually, at the end of this month, my apologies. And so hopefully that's going to solve the problem. But if you did submit a case and you haven't heard from anybody, please get a hold of Jerry at northlandmufon@gmail.com because we want to know if there's a case out there that we just didn't get. And if you guys are interested in having a beautiful vacation, Project Hesdalen's conference is coming up at the end of the month as well. There are still spots available. It's in Trondheim, Norway. It's beautiful. And I'm happy to give you a little bit more information on that if you are interested in going. So until next month, we'll see you all on September 26th. And thank you all for coming.